Hello, everyone. My name's Cash Miller. This is Emerging Brands, Franchises on the Rise. We're talking to all these franchises that are out there. There's literally thousands, and there are so many great concepts. The idea of this show is to be able to feature some of those concepts. I've got with me Andrew Brandt. He's with Dreamz. Andrew, it's great to have you on. We're going to be talking about CBD and stuff today, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Cash. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great for you to be here. Tell us a bit about, Dreamz. Like, what is the concept here? And also, what's your role with the company?
Sure. So for those who don't know me, I'm Andrew Brandt. I'm actually the VP of Business Development for Dreamz Investments. We started off in 2018 with a CBD franchise. Started off with just one individual store and grew that to a chain of 26 locations. We've been a franchisor for now 2 years, and that's what we developed. It was a brand called CBD Pros USA. We started off there, then got into cannabis, started a full cannabis dispensary brand called Dreamz with a Z, DREAMZ dispensaries. We have 14 locations open right now in New Mexico and have a very strong pipeline of growth for those two brands. Do you want me to pause there? Because I could go on for an hour.
Oh, no, I got some questions for you here because, CBD and of course, cannabis and marijuana related products it's become huge. Yeah. And there are a number of companies that have gotten into the space and stuff, but, we've talked previously, and Dreamz has a little bit different business model that is very attractive personally, I think, because in the franchise space, you've got, different franchises that are like, you got to be fully involved. You can be kind of hands off, like say, absentee owners, semi-absentee, where do you guys fall in that space? And what does it look like from the franchise owner's, standpoint? Because I say you're really helping manage these stores.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct, Cash. And that is actually something that makes us extremely unique. Not only is it extremely unique in the CBD and the cannabis space, but it's just extremely unique in any kind of franchising. Normally, when you're a franchisee, you own it and you operate it. We give you the tools and provide the support and everything along the way as far as making sure that you're profitable. But normally, you're an owner and you're an operator. With us, that's an option. You can be an owner operator, and we fully support that. Or you could be completely hands off and we run it just like it's a corporate store. We have a management company, a management option for our franchisees to where it can be a passive investment for them and we can run it just like it's a corporate location.
Yeah, that is very unique amongst franchises because, like I say, most they do want you to be that active owner, and really learn the ins and outs. What is it? I think McDonald's has McDonald's U or something, and you have to be willing to go to their university essentially, to know everything McDonald's, and that's not something everybody wants to do. In which case, this kind of an investment can be really attractive because you can be more hands off, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you're already running a business, maybe multiple businesses, you might be running other franchises.
Right. Or you might be an executive at a company where it doesn't make sense financially for you to step out of your role and do this full time. That's an excellent way that we're able to bridge the gap for those professionals that want to get into the industry, that allow us to go in there and grow it for them to where they can get to a point to where it would sustain exactly what they're looking for it to sustain, and they can step into that role with us. Yeah. There are no long-term contracts as far as who's managing it. It doesn't matter to us as long as it's being managed the correct way.
Yeah, obviously the goal of any franchise, you want your franchisees to be successful.
Absolutely.
And the CBD space itself is a little bit different than other, it's not a restaurant. It's a little bit different than other types of businesses. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that for a minute, because I'm in Tennessee. We got CBD, shops all over. Like marijuana is not legal in this state, but CBD is everywhere, So talk about that a bit, about, the benefits. Cause I know you, there's some health lines, I think, with you in your business model that, I know that you find very attractive, as an offering, for the public, but like, I don't think people really understand the CBD space because it is a lot newer than most.
Well, and that's really what it boils down to, is not that many people know about it yet. It is an emerging market. We are an emerging brand. And the education piece of it is so pivotal when it comes to not only getting people into the industry and understanding it, but getting our getting our patients the medicine that they deserve and that they need. So our philosophy in our stores has not been selling. Like, we do not focus on selling and upselling and all that kind of stuff. We focus on educating our patients and educating our guests on the different cannabinoids and what they can do for themselves and what they can do for their grandmother and what they can do for their pets and their daughter. I have a hurt knee, I have anxiety, I can't sleep, my brain never shuts off. All these things that people suffer on a day-to-day basis, which turns them to prescription drugs, or it turns them to alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm here to disrupt the industry, the alcohol industry. I think our products can save lives.
So give us a little bit of an education then, on how these types of products work, because if you're going to be a franchise owner and, even if you're using the management services and you're just looking at it from an investment opportunity, no matter what, you're still going to be involved in this space. So what really is CBD? Like, how does this stuff actually work? Give us the I guess the layman's version of it.
My team is way better at explaining that than I am. However, I do know enough about it. Really what it boils down to is we have a system in our body called an endocannabinoid system. We produce naturally cannabinoids that work within that system in our body. And literally it's tied in with like every type of system that's in our body. We have different receptors that these cannabinoids work with. Look at it like it's a supplement. What we're doing is taking good things that are already naturally being produced in your body, and we're adding more into it. Similar to like even what a probiotic is. Your body naturally makes probiotics.
Yeah.
We're adding more into it.
Okay.
So most people have heard of CBD and they've heard of THC.
Yeah.
So CBD is the predominant cannabinoid that comes from hemp. Delta-9 THC is the predominant cannabinoid that comes from marijuana, cannabis.
Okay.
It's the same plant, Cash. It is the exact same plant. It is just producing different cannabinoids. So not only is there CBD and there's THC, but there's 100+ other cannabinoids that do different things for you.
Right.
Some are health and wellness focused. Some are recreational focused, like the THC categories. But we carry about 300 to 350 different products in our stores. And we have the full gamut of all the different cannabinoids. And all our team does when you come to our stores is teach you about those cannabinoids and what the different uses can be for you.
Huh. Now, this would, because of the education piece, this would be why the management part, that you offer to franchise owners would be attractive, because, it is education. And I would assume, like, what's the average time? Like, how long does it take you to teach? Because you put people within the stores to actually run them if you're under the management program. So how much education do they have to have, as employees to be able to talk to consumers?
So for our franchise system, for a franchisee who wants to own and operate their store, we have a training program where they'd actually go through a couple weeks of training with us in one of our live stores. And then we go to their store, help them with their staff and getting their store opening support and ongoing training. So not only is there that upfront training that we do, but we do weekly training with all of our team. We have weekly calls with our sales staff and our team, because we're always launching new products. There's always new research coming out. There's new cannabinoids, there's new rules, there's new laws, regulations, all that kind of stuff. So we are constantly educating. Not only we're educating our team, but we're educating, then in turn, they're educating our patients.
Now, okay, so in the terms of education, like I say, we've seen influx of CBD, shops and stuff. And I know I've had people, like, I'll go to like a party or something, and I've had people come up saying, "Hey, we're selling this. It's got to be the greatest thing." So it's like you get kind of a little bit inundated, I guess, and you're building out a brand, you're building out a network of stores and everything, so what makes it an advantage to own a franchise? Because it seems like anybody can enter the space, right? It's like, and start some store and, hey, I'm here, I'm open, so why do you want to own a franchise instead of just go that route?
Because we figured it out. You buy a franchise for the experience and the model that's already been proven. If you go out there and try to prove it yourself, you very well might be successful. But you have to figure it out, and it's going to cost you money and it's going to cost you time to figure that stuff out. We know what works. We know we have something called the 4 P's to success. So the people, we have over 220 employees and we manage the stores for our franchisees. We know our people are a differentiating factor. If you look at any of our Google reviews, it is all about our people. So it's the people, it's the products. The products, like I said, we carry about 300 to 350 SKUs. We have proven that those products work, and we have proven that those products will move. Our price points are good. We are known as having a robust selection. We have our brands, and we do have a good quality brand, and we promote our brand, but we have a robust selection of other brands. We don't just carry ours. We carry other proven brands that are popular around the United States, but we also have trustworthy products. You can get products everywhere, but can you trust them? We require full panel testing on every product that we get in there, so you know exactly what it is and what's in it.
Yeah, because I think that's like there's a perception a little bit, I think, with CBD related products, because they pop up left and right as far as stores not familiar with the actual products that are being, and that can be a hindrance to the industry as a whole. And then, but you're coming along and you're saying, okay, we're going to have stuff that is done right, and we'll build a brand, so we build trust in the brand and the products, and that's an advantage for franchise owners because of that. Now, let's talk brand for a second too, because you've recently partnered with was it Cheech and Chong, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we are extremely excited about the relationship. So, Cash, I briefly mentioned we have an operation of a cannabis operation in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. We are a vertical company there. We have 14 dispensaries open, 2 more under construction. We have a grow operation where we grow, extract, and manufacture products. Mm-hmm. Part of that operation and the notoriety that we were able to gain there is we were able to secure the license rights for Cheech and Chong's cannabis products for the state of New Mexico. Mm. Now, what does that mean, and why is it only in the state of New Mexico? Since cannabis is not federally legal, you cannot cross state lines. So even if it's illegal in a legal state right next to each other, you can't cross state lines with those products. So in order for a brand like Cheech and Chong to be in a state, they have to either go there, set up operations, grow, extract, manufacture products, and distribute them themselves, or they contract a company like ourselves, another operation, to do that for them. So we secured that licensing rights and started the relationship that way. We also, as we were discovering and working with the Cheech and Chong team, including Cheech and Tommy, we found that there's a relationship available for developing retail for them. Okay. So what we have decided and worked with their team to do is to launch Cheech and Chong's dispensarias as a license and franchise all around the country. We are looking to do a CBD retail version that will be available in all states, federally legal, federally compliant, exactly what we're doing for CBD pros, but with the Hollywood brand name. Right. So we've found we've already had a lot of success with CBD pros. Take that model, add in the star power of Cheech and Chong. Mm-hmm. We will create trial. We will have people that want to check it out just because of the name. And I don't know another company out there that's better at retaining customers than we are. Yeah, that brand, that star power, I think will be
that's going to be vital, to some serious growth, because it is obviously a well-known name. So that's going to help a great deal. I want to ask though, the marijuana, we know that it's really, state by state, it's been moving, eventually it will be federalized, but I want to ask a little bit tougher question, because you've got a neighbor state, not too far from New Mexico, that's having its own trouble in that space, Oklahoma. Sure. And I'm sure, you're fully aware of what's going on there, I would assume.
I am.
Yeah. So I just want to ask, do we see, based on that, because I know in Oklahoma, they've only legalized, medical marijuana, and the market is collapsing for them. Now, they opened too many stores, is what it looks like.
Absolutely.
The licensing division just basically gave it out to anybody, from what we can tell. And we've talked previously about how Missouri, it's a different, story. They're like next door and working to get a license there. So talk about that part of it. Is there too many, what do you see from that end? Is there room, that growth room that you need? Is there going to be some of those hiccups along the way? I say eventually, Oklahoma's theory is a bunch of them will go out of business, but that will level the market, and then allow for opportunity when it's done right. Because they got in, it seems like the state itself didn't know what they were doing.
I mean, it is all about it is all about how they set it up, right? We don't, like, out of any company I've worked with, we move faster than anybody that I've worked with, but we move fast, but strategically. Our founders are actually from Oklahoma.
Okay.
We did not go into Oklahoma. We
Smart
did
move.
we did a lot of research and found the way that they were doing their licensing was not sustainable for competition, because it was there's no territory. It is, there's some strip centers that have multiple dispensaries in them. Yeah. I mean, it's like Subway restaurants where there's one right across the street from across the street.
Right. Yeah. That's a good example.
Yeah. So we decided not to go into Oklahoma. I'm going to say yet, because because there are going to be opportunities in Oklahoma once it shakes itself out. And the sustainable ones are going to be there. The ones that are not sustainable are going to go away. And what we look at when it comes to whether or not we're going into another state is all of the what ifs. What if they now legalize this? What if they open this aspect up? What if federal legalization happens? All these what ifs that you got to try to mitigate your risk when it comes to it. It's a very volatile industry when it comes to regulations and changes. It changes substantially, but if you're with a good operation that can pivot on the fly, you stay ahead of it. So far, we haven't had any hiccups that have caused us major issues financially or operationally.
Well, I think with like CBD and the marijuana, both those areas, it's been a bit for the last 7-8 years or whatever, since Colorado started legalizing it. It's been a bit of the Wild Wild West.
Yeah,
that lends itself to the idea that if you're going to get into that space, if you're interested in it, being part of a franchise is a much better play, because of the fact that you on the corporate level are, the individual store and store owner can't necessarily keep up with everything that's going on. That's your job.
Absolutely. We have a team. We have a team that does it.
Yeah. So, but that's the idea, because, you're from state to state. If you're operating there, you've got to stay ahead of that. Makes it more feasible from a franchise owner side, because they're worried about their store if they're, involved, or, even if they're saying, I'm going to go the managed route and letting you guys do it. You have that team that is doing it. And that's what makes the big difference. Why franchises, if you want to be in this space, it's a better bet to go with versus trying to do it on your own.
Especially in this space, there are so many ways to trip yourself up when it comes to this. That being, whenever I went back to, learning by other people's mistakes, is we've been there, we've done it, we've had the trial and error. It's cost us money, it's cost us time, it's cost us people.
Yeah.
By joining a group like ours with the experiences, that mitigates those risks, that mitigates those challenges. Not saying that other challenges aren't going to be there. I mean, it is business, right? But to have a team behind you versus just trying to do it on your own is substantially different.
Yeah, it's a totally different world. Let's talk investment.
Sure.
What does it take to, because franchises can really vary on what you can end up spending. So what does it take to get into this kind of a franchise?
So I can give you some ballparks. To do a Cheech and Chong CBD version, so let's just call it a Cheech and Chong's CBD store. Mm-hmm. That will cost you around $125 to $150, and we're talking about all in. Okay. That's including everything, including your franchise fee, inventory, the build out, small business startup costs, inventory, marketing, and operating capital. So it's relatively inexpensive to get into it with a proven track record on a good ROI.
Can you break those numbers down just a little bit? Especially like what's the franchise fee? But also, when you say operating capital, different franchises will be allowing for a certain number, period of time that operating capital will last. So those are two of the most important, because it's like,
sure.
I say how much is going there, because then it's how much is the rest inventory build out, and then how much is the, like say the capital piece.
Totally understood. So I do actually have a spreadsheet breakdown that when it comes to people that are interested in it, I provide that to them. It breaks it completely down. But top level franchise fee is $45,000.
Okay.
It is a one-time fee that is good for 10 years. We do offer half off our franchise fees for anybody that is active or retired military. So
that's good.
We appreciate our veterans and understand that these products really can help them. So we do offer that inventory that's in the store. We put around anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 of inventory in the store. Build out, can be anywhere from 10 to 30,000. We try to find what we call a second generation suite, secondhand suite, meaning it was an existing business before where we can go in and, redo the floors, paint the walls, put in our fixtures, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So
what does the marketing piece look like? Because there's, that plays into, the ramp up to get to at least break even.
Absolutely. So traditionally we do a grand opening event. Generally we do that, couple months, a month to 2 months after a store is opening, do a soft opening, and then build it up to a grand opening event. And then we come up with a 3 and 6 month marketing strategy when it comes to opening up the store. When it comes to this kind of business, Cash, the best thing is grassroots marketing.
Yeah.
Getting out there, getting to know your neighbor, being part of the community, chamber of commerce, fire station events, police station events, school events, sponsoring teams. But it's really getting out there and being part of the community, being active in it, because that's where we really make our biggest impact when it comes to marketing dollars.
Okay, then tie that into, since you have the management piece, where you guys will end up managing the store. So how does that work? Because then that, informs the passive. I want to invest, but I don't want to necessarily run the day-to-day, which would be part of that marketing reach out.
Absolutely.
And things that they'd have to do.
So we have a marketing director that works with each of our individual store owners, franchises, or their designated manager. So we come up with strategies both on a monthly and quarterly basis with our franchisees involved if they want to be. If they're not involved, regardless, we are going to run those marketing events. We'll do the Chamber of Commerce every week. We participate in the local fairs. We get out there and we do that. That's part of our job. That's part of the management thing is we get out there and we market that store.
How many people does it typically take to run a store then?
We generally have anywhere from 4 to 5 employees.
Okay.
It's really not that many people that you need. From our top volume store to our lowest volume store, the labor is generally about the same. It's generally 1 to 2 people on at a time. And we have that split up between part-time and full-time employees.
Cool. And so my final question is, where are you like, I'm going to make this two questions. What makes the ideal franchise owner? And then where are you looking for, new franchisees to be?
The ideal owner for us is a little different than the ideal franchisee that I've been in. Like, I didn't share this, but I've been in franchising restaurants, retail, medical, optical, supplements. I've been in franchising for a very long time. And the model is a little different when it comes to us managing it. So normally my franchisee that I want is somebody that's going to live the brand.
Mm-hmm.
With us, you don't have to, unless you're going to be managing it and owner operating it. We don't require you to live the brand. It's great to live it and to market your store. But for the most part, our ideal franchisee is somebody that's looking to get into the CBD or the cannabis space. Okay. Somebody that is looking for a strong operational partner, somebody that's open to locations. The biggest challenge that we have is locations and finding good premium locations. Not everybody accepts CBD and not everybody especially accepts cannabis. Yeah. So finding that ideal location is a challenge. And whenever it comes to talking to my franchisees, especially if we're going to manage it, is be open to the best location, wherever it is.
Yeah.
The
idea that it might not be in this. Yeah. It might not be in the city you're physically in. Hopefully it's in the same state,
Exactly. But, I mean, an example though, as far as the management goes, our franchisee that owns our locations in Atlanta, mm-hmm. They live in Minnesota. We run the entire operation for them. So they do come in town and they get involved with meeting the employees and, being there for support. But we run the entire operation for them.
Yeah. And I assume you help find the right employees and such if you're going to be the managers.
And we find the location too.
Great. I mean, that's the thing. If for this kind of a passive, investment, to have that kind of a partner, I think is really ideal, for a lot of people that don't necessarily want to give up their day job, but they love the opportunity. And you're looking for people that over time, though, might be willing to open, multiple stores.
Exactly. I mean, most of our investors on the New Mexico operation that we did were investors with us on the CBD aspect of it. We want to create lifelong partners. We want to create generational wealth for people, because the better that our investors and our franchisees do, the quicker we can grow. We've doubled in size year over year since 2018, and we want to continue that growth. And the only way we're able to do it at the speed we're able to do it is with our operational and our people, but it's also with investors and franchisees that come into the system that want to be part of it.
Yep. Well, this has been great, Andrew. If somebody's interested in contacting you to see about getting, find out more about how they can get a franchise of their own, how they can get involved in this space, how are they going to get a hold of you?
They can contact me either through our websites, which are very easy to find, or they can just contact me through my email and my phone number. I'd be happy to share that with you if you'd like.
Yep. And we'll have, if you're listening to this, look in the show notes, because all of the things that you need are going to be there. And so it's been great having you on, Andrew. My name's Cash Miller. I'm the host of Emerging Brands, Franchises on the Rise. I'm also the CEO of Titan Media Works that's producing this podcast. It's been great, talking with you, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Cash. Appreciate you having me on.